to Beyond the Horror episode 3. I want to thank everybody very much for their patience yesterday as I had a family emergency, and yesterday the air conditioning in my house went out. So it's just been a big nightmare. So thank you all so much for your patience. Let's talk American Horror Story episode 3. And I am really excited to talk with my guest tonight. Welcome, of course, Miss Lady Di.
Hi, everybody.
Of course, we got Miss Melinda right down here. And last, but certainly not least, there is my soul brother, Michael Mullins, right over John.
Yay, Sagittarius.
Okay, so let's talk this episode. I have to say very quickly, I counted 3 times that Ray ran away like a bitch. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
such a bitch.
The first thing I got was Google headline today, from Google News and stuff, and the first thing it said was AHS 1984. Everybody hates Ray.
Well, nobody has to worry about it anymore.
True.
Yeah, I knew he'd be one of the first ones, but I didn't know he was going to be. Are they trying to stereotype that like a Star Trek episode?
Probably.
It was just, he just kept running away from everything. And if he just would have stayed with everybody, that wouldn't happen to him. And it's,
He's such a pussy.
That last scene was hilarious. That last scene was hilarious. I loved seeing Ray just ditch Montana. So, okay, let's get to that. Let's talk just a little bit about certain parts of the episodes because I got it up right here. And we're still on the same night. And, to be honest with you, I'm okay with that. What about you guys?
I kind of thought that would be the whole season.
I hope so too.
No, it won't be the whole season. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be to episode maybe 4 or 5. 5 definitely is going to end up being the turning point, or it'll 5 will be the last one, and then it'll switch into something else on 6.
Okay.
They're going to flip script once we get into the middle. I know it, because are they going to drag out the same night? I mean, I see they're doing a well job now, but for 10/12 episodes, because some people have said 10, some have said 12. I don't know, but regardless,
it
is 10. Okay. So the half of the season, is going to be one night, basically. I don't see them doing it for a whole season. That would be a lot to do for a whole season.
Because I can't imagine this kid's actually going to show up to this camp.
Exactly.
I wouldn't imagine so either.
No, they're not. There's no children coming.
No.
If they were even invited, right?
Whose mother would let them go to a sleepaway camp where people were killed? Nobody.
I know. And I keep getting those vibes from Brooke.
Something else is actually really happening.
I know, Michael, but we're morbid. We would do something like that. As a matter of fact, here in Austin, I think they did something like that, where you could come to a sleepaway camp, but it was for adults, and there was a murderer. It was like a who's the thing like that.
The dinner thing.
Yeah, but not for children.
Sure.
I don't know. There's some pretty twisted kids nowadays.
My dad tried to buy Jeffrey Dahmer's freezer. That's right. When I was 13 or 15,
really?
My dad was one of the highest bidders for Jeffrey Dahmer's freezer that he kept.
Oh my God.
I don't remember where it was, but I just remember thinking that's going to be in our garage. And I'm glad
it would have been in Milwaukee.
It still had to be in Milwaukee, yeah.
He didn't win the item, but I remember that he was going to bring that home. So in my opinion, I think if there were horrible murders there, my family would probably move into the house. They would probably buy it.
The first one's fine, huh?
So that's where you get it from.
Absolutely.
Makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. All right. So in the beginning of the episode,
I'm going to go out and come back in. My thing's cutting up. So I'm going to go out and come back in.
Okay, no problem, Michael. I'll add you right back in. Okay. Oh, wait. There we go. Sorry, Melinda. I accidentally popped you both out. Okay. So, and what happened next, basically, in the episode was at the infirmary. Of course, after everything had left off, Ramirez is literally trying to get in there. And Ray is like, hey, no, I can outrun at least 2 out of 3 of you, so I'm just going to run. And when he runs right into Ramirez. and he starts getting his arms slashed by the guy while everybody else runs except
Which, did you
Chet.
notice when they show him again, like he's a little bloody, don't get me wrong, but like when they were showing Ramirez slicing and dicing at him, like it was like spewing blood, like he was tearing him up.
Yes. And I'm actually surprised he even had any kind of meat afterwards. It kind of looked like.
Well, you know, they want to do extra gore, I think. I think it's supposed to be like exaggerated. Because everybody's like that. Think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, it was still a good little, Chet did the right thing. I have to say, even though he,
I love Chet. I love Chet.
I'm so glad he made it out of that pit. So as everybody's running away, which I don't understand, Brooke and Rita, they hear the guys specifically screaming behind them. Brooke stops and says, we should help them. And Rita says, no, we should get to the car. They know where to find us. And so Brooke says, well, okay. I mean, maybe she does hesitate for a moment. But still, okay, I'm going to suspend reality. I'm not going to try to get too into it because I see where the storylines break off. But I do like what happened in the pit because we get more of Ray's storyline. And what had happened to the group is that Ray and Chet had fallen into a pit with stakes that were at the bottom of it. So when you fall into it, you impale yourself, sadly. So Chet was impaled in the shoulder. And obviously Ray
from Vietnam.
Yeah. Well, I would rather you break off the back piece and you leave it in there like a cork. It just depends if it hit a vital organ or not. But I would assume since it was the shoulder, I don't think it did. So it's like you say, he should have just pulled him off. And I'm surprised he didn't just yank him up. I mean,
he thought he was going to die. And we found out later on why he didn't want to do it. He was a wuss because of what happened.
Yeah.
He's afraid.
Oh, looks like Michael. Oh, okay. He's still trying to add. There we go. There's Michael. Okay.
Yay.
We'll take some comments at certain points.
I don't know how much better it is. I'm still crackling.
Comments if I see some that I like, but I just want to thank everybody for being here, of course. And so, Michael, what did you think about Ray and Chet being in the pit? Because we're right now at Ray's backstory, where Chet has passed out from the pain. Ray thinks that Chet is asleep, and he confesses his backstory, the worst thing he's ever done.
Again,
what did you think about his backstory?
Well, again, it's another tall tale with some crazy ass event that hasn't happened in someone's life when they're the only storyteller about their thing. So,
again, did you notice the way he told the story?
Seems dramatic. Exactly. It seemed like it's a radio play or something.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, in the 80s in UCLA, somebody died from hazing. It's almost like they're trying to put some of this little stuff in that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a big problem today, you know?
But I think that's when they started to notice it.
Very socially.
Yeah, very so. He's throwing in a little bit of cult vibes to kind of get us to pay attention.
Absolutely. Well, the next part in the actual episode, I got to say, we go back to Trevor, Xavier in Montana and what they're going through in the cabin. I guess it's the guy's cabin. Now we find out that they are not actually being chased by the real Mr. Jingles. It's just a bunch of townies that are dressed up as him to scare the new counselors.
I totally called that, by the way, because I was telling my husband. I did. I said, watch. Well, I had seen an Instagram post where I don't remember who it was, but somebody had posted an Instagram picture of the costumes from back behind the scenes type of thing. And they had the Mr. Jingles raincoat, but they had different sizes and they were different lengths. And so that told you there was going to be different Mr. Jingles. I said, I bet you it's going to be like the whole bloody thing where they had the kids going into the asylum pretending to be bloody. And it made sense that it was like crazy townies and stuff, because that's exactly what it would have been back in the 80s. People did stuff like that where they celebrated, massacres and when serial killers were caught and stuff. I mean, people still do crazy shit like that.
Absolutely.
That's next on my, just so you guys know, that's next on my list is I'm getting one of those Jingles masks. Because you're never going to come out with them. You know they are. But did anybody notice that it was funny, especially when they showed, actually John Carroll Lynch standing in front of the guy and they, were going camera panning back and forth, how the mask didn't really look like him at all. His face is slender. The mask reminded me a lot of Jason Alexander and his character from Seinfeld with long hair.
It's a Costanza mask.
Yeah.
A Costanza, yes.
Yeah. But I called it. I knew that was going to happen.
Well, you were definitely right, Melinda, because there are definitely more than one of these townies that are dressed up and walking around the camp. At one point, what I really liked is when Mr. Jingles actually comes across one of the lookalikes, and he's kind of like Jason. He's just like, and he just lets him be. He doesn't kill him. At least not then, maybe. Yeah.
Well, I think
kill him. They think it's him and push him into the pit. Xavier and Trevor do.
That's right. Thank you.
Later on.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, later.
But see, Jingles is now showing himself. He is a murderer, but he's not. He didn't kill those kids. He's killing people who deserve it. Like he let the guy with the inhaler go. He saw his friends are making fun of him. He hit Chet on the motorcycle because he knew he was being a wuss and running away. Oh, right. It's almost like you see him have some kind of a conscience. Like, he did not kill these children. I mean, I think he's a killer, but you kind of have to piss him off for him to kill you.
Well, and then he even said that in the interview when he was talking with Rita, when he said, they told me that I killed these kids and I don't remember doing it. They told me I had a psychotic break. And I killed these kids. He remembers killing people.
Hang on 1 second, Melinda. I'm just going to go on ahead really quickly, and we are going to add Murder Motel to the stream. Murder Motel, what's up? It's great to have you here.
Hi, guys.
Okay.
Hi.
So, Lady Di, you and Melinda, please, about this point right here with Mr. Jingles in the asylum. Please, I'm sorry. Go back to that. I need to hear this again. You're making a very great point.
Well, no, like I said, he's showing a conscience now. Like even when he didn't kill the pathetic Mr. Jingles fake guy, and I kind of felt sorry for that kid too. I was like, oh my god. But just the fact that like when she met with him in the hospital, he didn't remember killing the kids at the camp. He said they told him.
They told him he did.
Yeah, he's the like you said they do that with people. They fit a profile and they're there and they don't have anybody else to blame and they're in the location. This guy, and you see his story. He's from Vietnam. He's got all kinds of terrible things that have happened to him, but he's not a child killer. He is a killer because the government made him into one.
Turned him into one. Yeah. And I like that they hit on that point because that's very true. Like we were saying, he's adding all these social commentary. Ryan's adding these different social commentary things, but that was very true. I mean, it's true today in war, but it was very true, especially for the Vietnam War, for these vets that went over there and the stuff. I mean, these were kids themselves going to war and they had to kill small children and they had to live with that for the rest of their lives.
And women. And if you notice, this is the second reference to Vietnam. Remember, Richard Ramirez's cousin showed him all the things he did when he was in Vietnam and the pictures about how you can get away with anything you want when you're overseas like that.
Can I just say, too, really quickly, Miss Mead's father was served in Vietnam for the apocalypse.
She talked about her dad. And, she talked about her dad killing all the Viet Cong. And I don't think she specifically mentioned, ears or anything.
Right.
Why would that not surprise us that she came from that? If it was somebody cutting off ears type of thing.
If you look at like The Deer Hunter or any of those other movies, these guys all collect stuff, whether it's a tooth or a finger.
Daryl from The Walking Dead, just specifically there for Tammy, just so she knows, I will mention it. Daryl from The Walking Dead collected ears for a while when he was going crazy.
That's right. That's right. I even mentioned it in my video.
It's almost like
Daryl Dixon.
The people he takes.
Yeah.
it's like the people he took the ears from are the ones that he justified killing, like the lady from the asylum and Chet, the people who were mean or the people who were rude or the people that he deemed were not fit.
Well, even the two townies, the two fake ones that he killed, when we first realized that these were Jingle's fake outs,
did he take their ears?
He took the one guy's ear, the second guy he killed, but the first guy he didn't. Well, he may have. They didn't show us.
That was crazy. Yeah,
because the first one was kind of making fun of him, and the second one was more like, because you're here too, I'm going to kill you.
Right. Exactly.
So maybe it's all about, you know, his psyche and it's just, well, it's showing his path. And back in the 80s is when they first found all this stuff from these poor guys from Vietnam, you know, the Agent Orange and all these things that happened to them. Whereas previously they all thought they were mean and baby killers and they were protesting the war instead of them seeing them as victims.
Yep.
And this poor guy is a victim. Just like maybe Richard Ramirez wouldn't have done what he did if his cousin hadn't messed him all up, showing him pictures
I know,
mutilated, killed, and it's all tying back to each other.
Can I make a comment real quick? Just because I saw one of your comments. Who was it? I think it was Lock 121. Okay, somebody else mentioned it too. That Meade had the robot memory implanted in her, but she was a real person before that they gave. That she had memories of, and they implanted a lot of actual memories and then gave her fake memories as well. So we don't really know which was real or not actually at that point. So it could have been fake, but it could have been real with her dad being in Vietnam thing.
Okay. Well, what did you guys think about Ray's backstory? What did you think about the hazing? And Murder Motel, we can start with you. What did you think about Ray's backstory? Did you think, I mean, would you have made that decision, I guess? I mean, if you saw someone fall down a flight of stairs, would you have called 911, or do you think you would have been like, maybe I should think about it for Robo?
I'm so kind-hearted and such a kind person that I would probably call 911 because it would be the right thing to do.
Exactly.
But that's just me. And unless I didn't like the person, if I didn't like you, I'll just keep you there to die. I don't give a fuck. But like,
look at Michael. Oh my God. Michael is like, we're having drinks, Murder Motel. No.
I'll take a cocktail.
Well, I see in the comments that a lot of people do hate Ray. And that, I mean, I didn't find him annoying. And I do see that Trailer Files found him annoying from the beginning. And a lot of people just did not even like him whatsoever. But I thought he was cool. I thought he would actually end up being one of the actual good guys. Him and Brooke had a moment in the episode 1 where I really kind of liked. So I was hoping that they would touch on that again. But we never got anything. So
they just went down the rabbit hole with him. Trying so hard to fit in the world that they live in and making another social comment because the guy's trying to help when they're hazing is an Asian gentleman. And he's saying, you know, we have to try so hard. So he thought they would celebrate him by him doing this heinous thing because that's how much they, you know, it's just that's how messed up these fraternity guys are, especially the white guys in the 80s. They just were not kind to anybody who wasn't them.
Yes. And I did research the fraternity, I want to say really quickly, and it was not the same one that Kyle attended in New Orleans. So they're definitely separate fraternities. But what were you going to say, Murder Motel?
I kind of want to add to the blonde-haired girl story. I don't know her name.
Montana.
Yeah. Well, no. The girl that Millie, her. I kind of want to add to her theory because, like, what if Miss Meade?
Oh, Melinda.
Yeah.
Yes, Melinda. Yes. The beautiful blonde.
Yes.
Sorry. My child busted his face open. I heard something. I'm like, what the hell?
My kid
oh my God.
earlier too. I don't know if she was at the school and she did the same thing. I hope they're okay.
Well,
okay. My child's okay.
Blood on his lip. He's okay. He's tough.
Okay, well, I want to add to your theory, Melinda, because I'm thinking, and I don't think we will ever know this, but what if Miss Meads was the daughter of Mr. Jingles?
Yeah, I've heard that one going around a little bit too. I mean, I could see how it would tie into AHS. It would make sense. It really would, and especially, like we were saying, with her having the flashback of her dad and talking about her dad in Vietnam and everything.
Yeah,
it would make sense. But I still really want Miss Mead to be little Jenny Reynolds.
Well, okay, so I am doing that theory video, guys. By the way, I have a poll going on my Twitter right now about
That's true. You never really knew what happened to her. It was just one episode or two.
I think I think it was
two.
technically 2, wasn't it?
I think it was 2. Because I just watched
Mm-hmm.
Asylum again.
Talking about Miss
She was definitely.
No, Jenny Reynolds.
Oh, Jenny
Little
Reynolds.
Jenny.
She only got 1 episode. Yeah.
Okay.
She only got 1 episode.
She killed like her whole family and all her friends in that 1 episode.
Yeah, poor girl. Now, what did you guys think about the twist with Rita?
Oh, I knew there was going to be something about Rita. I knew she wasn't right.
Because like
you made the point last week where you guys were talking, especially you and Di were talking last week about her and Jingles, the confrontation, and how we never saw that. I thought that was really, really weird because why would they show Jingles' confrontation with everybody so far, but not her? And she seemed unscathed when she ran away and everything, whereas it don't take him much, obviously, to get people and hurt them. And plus, it's the 80s, the 80s slasher movies, they always fall down and get hurt in the process of running away. And she didn't have any of that happen to her. And she just, I hate to say it because I love Angelica Ross, but every time Ryan adds a new type of cast member who's never been on the show before, I mean, I know she's from Pose, but never been on AHS. There always seems to be something like very suspicious or sneaky with them, or they end up being a bad guy in some way. And I think maybe she even wanted to be kind of like a bad guy because she doesn't normally play one, which I think would be fun anyway. But yeah, I knew there was something up with her. I totally knew it.
Yeah, I think we all did. We just didn't know exactly how they were going to fit it in.
Yeah.
So
can we talk about when she ran into the real Nurse Rita and ended up,
that was the best kill of the season.
Yes, it was. But you knew she was going to be in the back seat when the car left and her car was suddenly gone from the gas station.
Well,
you just knew she was going to be.
I was like, where'd her car go? She's in the back seat.
Right.
But I love it when we saw Nurse Rita again.
And they started playing Maneater. I was like, that's perfect. That's a perfect song. As soon as that song started playing, I said, she's in the back seat. She's going to be there.
And then when the real Rita actually popped up in the boathouse, her kill was the best kill of the freaking episode.
I agree.
So far.
It was, and it goes back to like when Blaze showed up. It's like all these one-off people who just show up. They're all there to die.
Yeah.
They come in, they fit into the story, and then they get killed. It's like, where did this girl come from? Oh, never mind. She's dead.
They're at a camp and get killed, and we're all out of counselors.
Yeah, because I didn't even think they were going to kill Ray off that quick.
I know. So let's talk about
he's in the title. He's in the title as one of the main characters. So to kill him on episode 3 is kind of weird.
Deron Horton is only a special guest star.
And no, I'm not sure about the first 2 episodes. I thought his name did come first, but I did notice that in the 3rd episode specifically, I noticed he was under special guest star.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was a special guest. I apologize.
For the first episode, he was special guest star. And I was even wondering, why is he? I thought he's going to die soon, so I thought, okay, his death is going to probably be one of the first ones.
And I like the fact that he wasn't the first one killed because. In typical stereotype behavior, usually they kill off the black person first, especially from the 80s horror movies and just 80s movies in general, particularly the horror movies. I like that they didn't stick with that stereotype, but you knew at some point he was going to bite the dust. And then when you heard his story, you knew he was going down. Like if you're a bad person, you're going to die.
You're going to die.
And like if they tell you the backstory, you're going to die.
And it was
one thing I did.
Oh, sorry, Diana. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, mine was totally off.
Go ahead.
before I forgot, what I did want to say is I do like that Ryan Murphy is an equal opportunity in the fact that the women are killing as much as the men, which you normally only see the men doing all the killing and doing all the evil stuff. And I love how he always puts it where you don't think it's, you're not thinking that Rita's going to do something. You figure she's going to be bad, and now there's other women down the road, as we're going to get to at the end of the, I just love how he doesn't make it obvious, even though he's being obvious.
Yeah.
He's just equal opportunity.
Michael, what did you think of Ray's kill? What did you think of him just abandoning Montana and then just chop? Oh no,
I hear you.
We can't hear you. Let's give him just a second.
Oh, that happened to me last week.
I'm gonna ask you next, Murder Motel. Okay, so get ready.
Okay.
No, can't hear it. He might have to restart. So while he's doing that, Murder Motel, why don't you let me know what you and then after you're done with Ray, tell me what you think of what you thought was the best kill so far for the season. So I want to know what you thought about Ray's death and the best kill, and then I'm going to ask you as well, Melinda, and of course, Lady Di.
Well, personally, Ray was a pussy ass mama's boy who probably needed to die at some point, and that's what he gets for being a fucking coward. Personally, so
he's totally a coward.
Well, like he should have not been such a coward. He should have saved people, but then again, we all know that he wasn't going to get out. No one gets out alive in horror movies. And if you do, you're lucky. So, like, I am pretty
and all that afterwards.
And I expected it to be a quick death because he was on a motorcycle. So, like, I kind of expected the head chop thing.
And then how his body and the motorcycle just rode off, and then
right?
each other, and then they just plopped over. It was awesome.
Well, and that was from the first preview that we got for the one for the season. That was the clip that we saw, was the motorcycle riding away underneath the Camp Redwood sign. That you couldn't tell when you saw that clip that he had no head.
Oh, excellent point. Michael, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. There we go. Yes.
Yay!
Yay.
You can hear? All right. Yay.
Okay. So
now I can speak.
What did you think about Ray's death, of course, and what was your favorite kill so far of the season?
No, what I was saying is with Ray, before you guys couldn't hear me, is this type of scene is exactly why I'm loving this season, because it's fun. Somebody brought the fun back to American Horror Story. You know, all these silly scenes, Ray being the little bitch and running away every 5 minutes and then running right in and getting his head cut off. It's just so campy. It's so fun, but it's so necessary for the story. It's brilliant. I love the fun.
It reminds me of like One Dark Night. Did you guys ever see One Dark Night?
Mm-hmm.
It was even from 1984. One of the Tilly girls were in it, and it was about a girl in a mausoleum trying to, prove that she was a big girl or whatever. But it was one dark night of her in that mausoleum, and this is exactly what this is reminding me of. So, and then of course some shots. Has anybody here played the Friday the 13th video game when it came out a couple of years ago?
Yes, some shots are taken from.
Are they?
It was an inspiration of the cinematographer. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense then, because a lot of the shots were highly reminiscent of like me playing the game. My kids and I love to play that game. We would love to either kill or be killed, and it's a lot of family fun. I have to say, we don't do board games over here. It's kill or be killed.
Well, no, because you can buy serial killers for refrigerators,
Okay.
Some weird shit, Mary. It's weird shit.
I know. Murder Motel, what was your favorite kill so far of the season?
I would say Rita. The real Rita, not the fake one.
Real Rita. Yeah. Me too.
But I wanted it to be a little bit more gorier. That's just me, because I love the more gore, the better in my eyes.
Well, apparently this season is going to be very gory because Billy Lord was saying this is the goriest season they filmed.
Yeah, she was talking about being covered in blood all the time when she was on Jimmy Fallon.
Yes. And okay, so now let's talk about one of the huge twists. I'm so ready to talk about this. And before we do, very quickly, I just want to say that I took some poll questions on my Twitter, and I asked a bunch of people based on the first 2 episodes, how much are you enjoying the season? The actual question, the answers were, I'm freaking McLovin' it, meh, too early to tell, or it McSucks. So 5% voted it McSucks. 29% said meh, too early to tell, and an overwhelming 66% said I am freaking McLovin' it. So
it's that good.
It is good.
It's good.
It is really good.
The first episode came out with like 2 million views, and then they're dropping now. But I don't understand why people would not go back to see the next episode. I mean,
especially after the second one.
These are numbers.
Can I be honest?
Years, right?
Well, we're 9 seasons in too, so.
True.
Can I be honest here on why?
Honey, that's why you're here.
Well, personally, no one uses cable anymore. It's all about streaming.
I do.
Well, personally,
I have a satellite. I have Dish TV, so I'm.
So everybody on here does.
Because that's the only way to watch FX and get it live. You have to have a live stream or a cable or a satellite.
Yeah.
And Hulu, it's the next day. You can't watch it the same day.
Well, you can watch it on Hulu Live. I heard.
Yeah, if you have the live stream.
Yeah.
Which costs extra.
Which I stream anyway because it's just cheaper. You know, I go the cheaper way out. But like most people actually choose streaming services over cable companies because they're so damn expensive, and streaming is actually cheaper. So
yeah, but not all platforms have all their purchase $50 for all these different platforms.
You have to have 2 or 3
services.
Shit, more than that now.
Yeah, Hulu Live is $54, and then you have to have Netflix. I mean, it's like by the time you add it all up, it's the same, and even more sometimes.
Okay, so
with cable, they have like the streaming on cable too.
So we want to move on to the big twist of the episode, and before we actually watched episode 3, I read a poll question of what do you think Brooke and Ramirez's relationship truly is. So I gave the options of nothing, another one of they're a team, or time will tell. So an overwhelming 46% said that time will tell. So not a lot of people understood really what the relationship was. They wanted to just sit back and see what it is like we did. 36% said they feel nothing is between the two, and 18% felt that they were a team. So that brings a shocking conclusion to the end of episode 3 when Montana and Ramirez make out. They are obviously boyfriend and girlfriend. Alicia, have a wonderful night. Tell Mia we love her. She's a fantastic kid, and give little baby Jalen a nice squeeze from us. Alicia said she's going to bed, so I wanted to wish her good night and her sweet baby.
And
night.
Billy started, when Ramirez showed up, like Ray left her, and then Ramirez shows up right behind, Montana. And she's like, you coward, you left me. And then all of a sudden she's like staring down the Night Stalker, like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Like right then and there, stuff's going through my head. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, she's a tough girl. She's a tough girl. She's going to figure out a way to save herself. She's not like these other women and everything. And then she starts making out with him. And I'm thinking, okay, she's like, screw it. I'm going to save myself. But then she said, what did she say? Like, why haven't you killed her already or something like that? Why haven't you killed that bitch?
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because when he was talking to Margaret, he said, a girl brought me to this camp. You assumed it was Emma Roberts. It was really Billy Lord. That's why he was there.
And Billy must have been the one who marked Emma Roberts for him because right before the night she was attacked.
Right before she was attacked.
Right.
Yeah.
And she, for some reason, she annoys the hell out of her. Or there's another backstory, like maybe the groom is her brother.
Right.
Or
there's another backstory.
something like that.
I have to say something very quickly. Melinda, you say it for follow up with you because I did a little research on Richie Ramirez.
Well, I was going to say, like, it can't be the brother, because I was just telling my husband this last night. As soon as that part happened, I was, like, all over it theory-wise. And it just like any 80s horror slasher, even, the mystery movies and stuff, it would make very sense. The killer always comes back for revenge for a reason. And usually it's family ties. Not always, but usually. And with her telling Montana the story of the white wedding, and then Montana saying what she said about, oh, well, he deserved it, that dick, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, I really didn't do it. It was like she was trying to get her to verify that she did do it. But if it was a brother or something that close of a relative, you would think if she was going to marry this guy, she would have met those relatives already.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm thinking like cousin, distant cousin, something like that. Somebody was coming back to exact the revenge because she still blames her for him dying or killing himself. And that would make perfect sense. That would be totally like 80s slasher plot right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my first thought is Richard had a brother named Joseph. And he does.
Right.
I mean, and my first thought was Joey. Oh my God, Joey Kavanaugh. Okay, shit. So it can't be Ramirez. So obviously Joey was not. Even after he came out, or even during the whole Night Stalker thing, Joseph Ramirez has never changed his name. So I looked into all that because
So what's the real story on his brother?
Yeah, or the best man. My first thought is the brother or the best man. One of those two that were killed at the Red Wedding had to be connected to Brooke, and why Ramirez and Montana are after her. Now, I could be wrong. What do you guys think that connection is of why they're...
I totally agree with you. I think it's the best man or the groom, but it's a very good chance.
Connected to Richard?
It would be probably the best man.
What, Michael? What did you say?
Richard? Well, are we talking about somebody related to Richard Ramirez?
No. They're, Ramirez and Montana are going after Brooke for a reason. So is it because of the groom that killed himself, or the best man that was killed at the Red Wedding? Because the wedding obviously has to be the backstory behind the reason why Montana and Richard Ramirez are after Brooke. It just has to.
But do we know historically, for real life, what is Richard's family life like?
Yes, but nothing that would ever
with your story.
Maybe it's not really Richard Ramirez. Maybe it's some guy posing as him, because the Night Stalker was a murderous killer and he killed so many people. Maybe he just did one of those copycats like we see in American Horror Story, and he's supposed to play him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan would change his history. I don't think he's done that yet, has he? With anybody, real life?
No, I mean, but it's just weird that would be his girlfriend when all he does is murder women. But
okay, I just have to say that Jacob had the comment to match all.
Oh my gosh!
I like that series. You have to read this.
That's pretty cool, Jacob.
And Montana
are pretty cool.
And they're trying to kill Brooke because she gives birth to Mallory. Okay, now wait a second here. This is 84, okay? 94.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Miss Robichaux's Academy, when Mallory actually entered that was like 2020, wasn't that? I mean, I'm going, but when it just, to me, it doesn't.
Wouldn't that be like current time now? So that would have been like 2018, 2019, wouldn't it have been?
Yeah.
Let's just say for argument's sake, let's just say Apocalypse 2019. That was the year that everything was supposed to blow and Mallory was supposed to reign as supreme. 2019. So let's say, how young do you assume Mallory was?
18, maybe.
Early 20s at the most.
Let's just say she's 24. So that would make her birth date like 96. There's no way that she could have. So. Yeah. Maybe this is something that the person would have to give birth like way later down the road. I mean, it'd have to be like she was. Okay, no name though. 4 years. That's still not, and that goes nowhere to 1984. So
grandmother? No.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it could be somebody in her line. Absolutely.
Because that follows with the Terminator thing.
The Red Wedding. That's what
I have a plot line for it. What if it's like the guy that got murdered or killed himself over Brooke and whatever. What if Montana was a family member of his and she's getting revenge on Brooke?
Well, that's what Melinda had
that's
said.
what we just said.
Lady Di, yeah. Because, and I got to say, third wave, and they said the thing about the ring was weird. And that's a really good point. Yeah. Remember when Brooke, he was like, where's the jewelry? And she gave it to him. He specifically picked out that ring. And he closed the jewelry box. He didn't take anything else. He just took that ring specifically.
And not to mention, which Mary, I know about Ramirez and everything, but I know you do your true crime, so I would think you would probably know a little more than me. And then obviously Di, with you remembering a lot more about that when that happened. I know he killed men and women, and I know he raped women, but I don't ever remember hearing about him robbing people or stealing people's jewelry. And that was the first thing he came in and said. So that was, like you said, that's weird and that's odd. And then specifically that ring that was the engagement ring from that wedding.
From her jewelry box.
There were a couple of people who survived him, and that's how they found him. Mm-hmm. And he was robbing while he was there, but that seems so specific to me. Like that's why he came in. And why did he just run? He didn't kill her.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess that's why they're up at the camp to finish the job. But there's something definitely there. It's just a little too early to figure it out, I think.
Now, Chase thinks, what if Montana is out for revenge because she was like Joey's backup, his back bitch, or whatever. Maybe they were like having a little affair because Joey didn't seem like a very faithful guy to me. That could just be me. But he didn't seem very faithful. They were
supposed to be saving themselves. That's what he said to Brooke at the altar. Yeah. So either he was virgin or he wasn't, obviously, but he tried to make it sound like they made it sound like
the guys who say that are usually the ones who are the most guilty.
Right. Most promiscuous.
He was just very immature, very, very
controlling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But but the whole when Melinda and shout out to Debbie, Debbie, when you see the credits and you see that when Billy Lord's character comes on, there's a DeLorean, which is about Back to the Future, which is about time travel, and it's connected to Billy Lord, who was Mallory. There's something going on here. I'm not sure exactly the timeline or what it is, but there has to be something to that because we didn't know to look in the credits back in I didn't in Coven, or I would have known who the Supreme was when I first saw the credits because it was like hidden.
Yeah, I know, right? And I watched the fucking opening. I'm sorry.
And watching it every single day, you're like, what am I doing?
Now I think this is why the credits matter, because like I've said many times on the show, like even last year when we were talking Apocalypse, I mentioned this. Ryan Murphy has publicly, I mean, I know he likes to throw people off and whatnot, but this is way after Coven and everything, so I don't see why he would lie about it. But he publicly came out and said that it just happened to be actually ironic. It just happened the way it did, that Sarah Paulson showed up when they showed the Mother Supreme, her name showed up when they showed the Supreme and everything, and that it played out because they actually decided halfway or 3/4 through Coven that Sarah was actually going to be the Supreme. Originally, it was going to be Zoe. And then they changed their mind last minute and they changed scripts and they changed, the writers came in and they changed a lot of the writing because that wasn't determined and decided from the beginning. So a lot of people read into that and they were like, oh, we should have known. No, that was just circumstantial. It's just coincidental. Okay. It happened.
When I heard that, I was like,
right. But I think because he realized that that was such a huge thing and people really did pick up on it. And especially after Coven, people started watching the credits every time like crazy, looking for stuff. And it's, then it blew up all over social media and people talking about it. Yeah. It would not surprise me if they purposely do now, do it because they know people are watching it so closely.
Because all the others have like a little thing around them. She's the only one that has the car is so out of what it's supposed to be.
Out of everything, yeah, about what the season is and about the credits and everything. Like the DeLorean just seems out of place. Totally does. I agree with you there.
Because Back to the Future was a premonition to 9/11. Yeah.
I mean, time-wise, when it came out and everything, it makes perfect sense. The credits, it just seems out of place.
all the space and fantasy movies of the 80s, this could turn into something weird that way because it's such
God, I want supernatural.
I want it to be so crazy weird. The weirder, the better.
Absolutely.
Well, what did you think, Mary? I wanted to ask you, what did you think? I know somebody just posted, I believe it's episode 7. I don't remember the title, but it's about the lady in white. And people are like speculating that could be Sarah's character coming in, or maybe not. But it just like everybody's saying they're really getting supernatural vibes from this.
Okay.
Oh, maybe.
I definitely am feeling the supernatural vibes, absolutely, especially with the Jonas guy, who's the anagram for Jason Voorhees. But
yeah,
I mean, and I'm waiting to be smacked by it because I got smacked this episode many times when Ray fucking ran away all those times, and then the whole Montana and Ramirez twist, and then the Rita twist. It was like, my AHS is back. I got plenty of sausage sandwich. There's plenty. So,
but did anybody know? Is it just me? Or at the end was Montana when she stared at Ramirez before she kissed him, before we knew they were together? It looked like there was a light coming from her chest. And I swear, when he went to stab her, it went through him. I'm going to have to watch it again.
I'm right there at that part right now where Ray leaves her ass. Hang on 1 second. Let me just see.
Probably before Ray alone.
Can I just say, I loved that Ray got his head chopped off, that it wasn't just a stab or anything, because that was so 80s, where there was always at least one person who got their whole head completely chopped off.
It's like comical.
Every scene of this is tied into the 80s. I mean, this is the love letter.
God, absolutely. It is so bad.
So, I mean, if you see that, Mary, because I saw that and I didn't have a chance to watch it again.
It looks like she's carrying a flashlight. You can see it.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
But it looks like.
But when he goes to kill her, doesn't his hand go through her body or something? Like she's not human.
Girl, I think.
No, he put his hand behind, like grabbed her back here and kissed her.
Were you sober?
Me?
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
I was Michael,
I was not on the weed yet.
Right.
Not till after the show. And it's legal here in California, so we can do it as much as we like.
Yeah, that's her flashlight. That is her flashlight.
Okay, because I was ready for her to become a witch right there and do something, but I didn't realize she had a flashlight.
I'd have puked.
That's what I wanted, right?
I just wanted her to vomit in his mouth, but then she's like, "Why haven't you killed her yet?"
With you?
I know. I'm watching this, and I'm like, I'm thinking my poor Mallory is, or my poor fucking Montana is going to die. She's going to die, and then
I know.
Is he kill her?
No, Montana, stop doing that! No.
Like I said, I thought he was going to kill her, and then I thought, she's being the only smart one. She's going to get herself out of this. You know, she's going to make out with him and then take off. I thought she was going to kick him in the groin and run off.
I was too busy going, what the fuck? And then I went,
Well, we've got to have the surviving girl. That's cliche. We got to.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Every single movie had one.
So let's wrap up the stream with what your thoughts are on the episode and what your rating is for it, because I would definitely rate it again. I mean, I'm like at a 9.9 at this point.
You're
I really would give it a 10.
Not yet.
You know, I'm ready to be wowed for the rest of the season. So I say like a 9.9, and I'm very happy with the episode, as you guys are going to see in my review. What about you, Miss Melinda? Let's take it off with you next. What would you rate it, and what are your overall thoughts on the episode?
I totally agree with you. I would be there with probably about a 9.9. I don't want to give it a full 10 because I don't want to live up to some standard that, you know, I'm going to be let down on later. But man, oh my God, like I have yet to really post in the group this season. Obviously, I've been so busy. Last night, as soon as it ended, I was in the group. I was, you know, in Debbie's little comment section, and I'm like, listen, holy freaking killers this season. Like, just the fact that we had all the killers crammed into one episode, all of the even backstory crammed into one episode. And it was just, oh man, I loved it. And I loved, like we were saying, like a lot of the actual real life social stuff that was added in. And they're putting so much into one episode, which they did with Apocalypse, but it doesn't feel as rushed even though it's still all one night, it doesn't feel as rushed and forced as it did for like the crossover episodes with Apocalypse or a season with Apocalypse. So I'm loving it. Like, I'm just hoping that it keeps it up. Like you were saying, Mary, I hope it keeps it up because I'm going to be so damn disappointed if suddenly, like I said, we hit episode, 5, maybe 6, and we just go downhill from there. I'm going to be so disappointed, but I'm loving it. I think this is like, honestly, I mean, I was talking to Kenny earlier and he agrees with me too. So shout out to Kenny. Yeah, I think this is like so by far my favorite season right now, as of now. And I'm all about Asylum. Like that's my season. But I don't know. This one is shaping up to be pretty damn good.
Same thing, yes. What about you, Murder Motel? What would you rate this episode, and what are your general thoughts on episode 3? You got to be honest with me, hon.
I actually did my first after show today on this whole subject. So,
yay! Congratulations.
But and if you want to view that, it's on my channel. But
absolutely.
I'm still kind of mind blown with the whole episode. Like I really didn't even know what to say during my stream. That's how mind blown I was.
I guess that's a good thing then.
So, like, I was like, well, I'm sitting here thinking in my head, well, I'm gonna be in Mary's stream tonight, so maybe if I like think about it for a little while, I can like have something to say about it. Apparently, I have to sleep on it because it was that good to me. And I think I would probably give it I don't want to give it a 10. I don't want to do that because, like everybody else, I don't want the expectations to be too high. And then I'd be let down. So I would give it probably a 9.9 like the rest of y'all.
Okay, Michael, what about yourself? What are your overall thoughts and what would you rate the episode?
I will go back to what I said in the very beginning. I love the fun. I'm having fun. It's fun to watch this show.
And the camp. The campiness.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm with not giving it a 10 just yet because we're so burned last season. But I'll stick with my 9.5.
Okay, and I love how you were right, Michael. You said that this season was going to be like a big love letter to 80s horror movies. And I was like, oh, God, I hope you're right. I hope they go that route. And they're going that route.
Every scene.
I'm so happy, Lady Di. Let's hear from you. What is your rating and what did you think about the season or the episode?
This one, I'm going to give it a 9. I liked it a lot. Not that there's anything bad with a 9. And it's interesting because I know all you guys are into horror movies. And guess what? I'm not.
You're not.
I love this. I'm not.
Nice.
I stumbled on American Horror Story for the actual story of it, for the actual storylines. And you have like Asylum that's so serious and has horrible things in it. This to me is just so much fun.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right?
there's a great story behind it, but I'm enjoying it. Like Michael said, I'm just smiling and laughing. Even the way they're getting killed, it's not gory, gross. It's like it's comical. It's like, I'm going to take this and put this down her throat and then you're seeing the pictures that popped up that you didn't know who these people were when they gave the previews. They were really they were really there.
Yeah.
This was a short amount of time. So as somebody who's not a follower of 80s horror, and for me to like it, that says a lot.
That's a good testament to the actual script. Yes. I mean, and the writers, in my opinion, they're knocking it out. They're doing a great job.
Not just on this show. Ryan's having a great year. 911 is fantastic right now. The Politician
911 is great this season. Yeah.
So, and I'm hoping for one thing, and I know this isn't going to happen, but I'm going to put it out to the universe. Since Richard Ramirez is in there, what if Evan just kind of showed up as Mr. March for like one episode, for like 5 minutes to tell Richard what he's doing wrong? Like he ends up back at the hotel for a second. I mean, it could happen, right? Maybe it's
no.
It could happen.
He said he told him what to do.
Anytime.
Stop with the connecting. Get over it.
I'm sorry. I want to see him again, for
Like
5
for real.
minutes.
Like
I'm still not convinced that Evan's not going to show up at some point, even just something minute and small.
Something new. Something new.
And that character was so amazing and was so done so well. I think he loved that character.
Coven,
I know.
You can watch it anytime you want to.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, if I had a wish, that's what it would be.
If I had a wish, we'd forget
to be on the same set as Emma. In my opinion, since they're exes. I mean, I know they're professional, but
they're broke up again.
That would be kind of because they're exes.
Oh, yeah, Evan's with Halsey now.
Yeah, he's dating Halsey.
I think that's awesome, by the way. I think that's kind of cool. It's different for him.
He's going to be so disappointed. Maisie Andrews, remember, she was one of the other guys. Okay, never mind. She had a big Evan thing. So. All right, guys. Well, that's it. We're going to go on ahead and end Beyond the Heart. Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to be back, of course, next Wednesday. Patrons, we will be back.
Boo.
I will be on a plane.
For Tammy.
Yeah, I'm going. Dawn is going to come and take my spot for a couple of weeks. I'm going on a bucket list vacation. I'm going to Paris next week. So I will be on a plane Wednesday night.
Wow.
Have fun.
Watch the show. Are you just going to wait until you come back?
Well, I have my gear with me and I have internet, so I'm sure I'll catch up. I don't know if I could watch it on the plane because actually I actually go to Dallas and from Dallas to Paris and then from Paris to London for the following week. So,
but isn't that like a 20-hour flight?
I'm back it's 2 weeks. I'm back, so I'm just gonna miss next Wednesday and the Wednesday after.
Oh, well, we're gonna make.
I'm sure. I mean, if I can hook up to the internet at some point in the middle of the night when I can't sleep, I'll be watching the show. So.
We'll be wishing you all luck
very frequently.
And don't forget, guys, American Horror Story Weekly Wednesday live streams are for patrons for right now. So if you are a patron, don't forget you do get your stream. We can chat. I go over your theories and we have our discussions. So
smash the button, everybody. We had lots of views, but you need to smash those buttons. Button.
Yes, smash the like button.
We greatly appreciate it. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll be back next Wednesday, and my review for AHS will either be up for tonight or tomorrow morning. So thank you all, everybody, for being here. Have a great night. Okay.
Bye, guys.